Hi there, it's Kevin from RogueDeckBuilder.com here with an updated list for Epic Experiment. Before I get started going down the deck list, I have an announcement to make. I know that my website isn't up yet, and I thank you all for your patience with that. I will try to have it up by the end of the week or the following week. That is the goal that I have. Anyway, I have a contest I'm going to be sponsoring on my website, and it revolves around Epic Experiment. In fact, I'm calling it the Epic Experiment Project. Basically, the rules are you're going to submit a deck with at least 3 copies of Epic Experiment, and we will either vote on the best version of it, or if someone can provide any evidence that they performed quite well, maybe won a tournament, maybe a Star City Open or a TCG Open, or maybe one of the Wizard sponsors tournaments. Anything but an FNM, because FNMs are too hard to provide evidence that you won an FNM or anything like that. So we'll be holding that contest at www.roguedeckbuilder.com. I'll have a whole section for it. And the prize support is pretty sweet. The person who is number 1 will receive 1 complete set of Return to Ravnica. And I'm thinking of even throwing in 4 either signed copies or foil Epic Experiment cards. And then we'll have a prize for maybe 2nd through 5th. I'm not sure exactly what we'll go up to, but it will be based on people voting on which deck they think is the best. If you can provide video, such as how I do on MTGO, of you playing the deck, I'm sure that will help your chances and help your votes. But anyway, like I said, the whole purpose of this is we as a community are trying to break this card. I've got a lot of feedback. My Epic Experiment videos are by far my most popular videos, and I've had a lot of people email me about the Epic Experiment deck, and there's just a lot of buzz around this card. So I feel as a community, I think that we can all make a better deck than what I've made here. I haven't played this deck in a while. I've been really obsessed with my Rug Peddler deck. I love that deck. It's extremely fun. I'll put a link in the description that you can see my games with Rug Peddler, and I'll be joining some tournaments here with Rug Peddler as well. I don't know, maybe I will try the Epic Experiment. We'll see. Anyhow, so this is my updated list, and once again, if I could have any feedback, that'd be great, because like I said, we're going to try as a community to make the best possible Epic Experiment deck. And I know there's a lot of angles that I personally haven't been able to see that maybe some of you in the community have had some experience with this card and could give me some tips and some advice. My old version used to run Azorius Charms and Pillars main board, but they are so dead versus the control matchups, and there's a lot of control matchups out there, that I put basically my sideboard is all anti-aggro. So I've got the Pillars, the Azorius Charms, up to 3 Supreme Verdicts, and 4 Terminuses in the sideboard against those aggressive zombies, Celestia aggro, red deck wins type decks. And then the main board is a very mid-rangey control. Mid-rangey. There's no control in this. Sort of a deck that can take games out of nowhere. A lot of times if you watch my Junk Reanimator video, he's got 2 Thragtusk on board, which he's been blinking and up to like 50 life, and I'm able to kill him in 1 turn with Epic Experiment. So I've made a few additions, such as Snapcaster, testing Snapcaster out. I don't want too many Snapcaster / Augur of Boluses, so I've got 2 Snaps and 3 Augur of Boluses. And then basically it's the same. Added 1 more Epic Experiment, because yes, I do need 3. This is an Epic Experiment deck, so we're going up to 3 Epic Experiments. Up to 3 Goblin Rallies. I do feel this is the 2nd best token generator next to Lingering Souls. I have tried Increasing Devotion. That gives you 5 tokens, but it's double white, and I hate to add another double white card to my deck. I'd have to go like Isolated Chapels instead of the Drowned Catacombs and cut down on the blue. So once again, I'm still toying around with this. Increasing Devotion is a very viable card in this deck, and also cards like Midnight Haunting or Krenko's Command or Gather the Townsfolk are also options that easily could fit into this deck. But I'm not going heavy tokens. My friend has a version of this deck that's using both. Is using a lot of Krenko's Commands, a lot of Gather the Townsfolk, and actually he's using Increasing Vengeance to copy usually an Epic Experiment, or even like a Forbidden Alchemy is not a bad target to copy. But he has some pretty sick draws. I need to get his list and build it and show you how his version of Epic Experiment is. But he was having a lot of fun last Friday Night Magic with it. He was just beating up on the back control lists and the other control lists with Epic Experiment. So once I get his deck list again, I'll try to post it, do some videos with it. So going back to the deck, we have 3 Forbidden Alchemies and 3 Desperate Ravings. I feel they're the best card draw engine. I can see a point to think twice, but I think Desperate Ravings is a lot better because you get stuff in the graveyard as well. And I've also tried out Faithless Looting a little bit too, but the card disadvantage is a little hard to overcome sometimes. So three Forbidden Alchemies, 3 Desperate Ravings is what I stuck with. If you're not familiar with this deck yet, the kill condition is Burn at the Stake. I think 2 is sufficient. My friend uses a lot more than 2. I think he even uses 4. But the way we go through our deck to dig, to find our Burn at the Stake, we don't want multiple copies in our hand. They're dead cards if we have multiple copies. And they're very pertinent if they're in your graveyard. I mean, you can use the Past in Flames to flash it back. You usually have plenty of mana when you're into Past in Flames mode with the Battle Hymns. I might need to go up to 4 Battle Hymns again. This is a great card. Oh man, I hope they reprint Manamorphosis in the next set. I highly doubt they will, but if they can give us some sort of mana fixer, this deck will be, pun intended, epic. So a lot of the times, if we could just switch our Battle Hymn red mana into any mana, that would make us go infinite pretty quickly, be able to go through our entire deck. So anyway, now I'm rambling again, sorry about that. So we'll go back 3 Epic Experiments and 4 Goblin Electromancers. This card, when it's good, it's really good. When it's not, it's a very dead card. I don't know how I feel about this card. A lot of times it doesn't do much. It is pillar bait. It dies to Pillar Flame almost immediately versus a lot of different matchups. Sometimes you don't get any value out of him, but he's a good card. He can accelerate the deck a lot. I've moved up to 25 lands. I think that's appropriate for this type of deck that wants to hit a land drop every turn, and I did throw the Rakdos Key Runes back in main board. So 25 lands and Rakdos Key Rune. And anyway, so I go just the four Clifftop Retreats, 4 Steam Vents, 4 Blood Crypts, 4 Hallowed Fountains, and then the 2 of each Drowned Catacombs and Glacial Fortress. Like I said, you could switch those out depending on how. I don't know if I feel like I need more red mana. We have tons of red sources. We have adequate black sources, I believe. We've got a total of 8 black sources. And so maybe the Drowned Catacombs actually should be isolated chapels, especially with the sideboard with 7 double white. Yeah, I'm going to have to redo this. I think I'm going to either add more Glacial Fortresses or more isolated chapels, and maybe take out take the Drowned Catacombs probably. That'd be probably the better. Or maybe, yeah, Drowned Catacombs for isolated chapels would probably be the wise move here. And then I don't know if I mentioned, I do have a 1 of Tower End. And back to the sideboard again, it's all anti-aggro. 4 Pillars, 4 Azorius Charms, 3 Supreme Verdicts, and 4 Terminuses. Cards that I have used in this deck were Chandra, the Firebrand. She's actually pretty cool. Really good card. If you can get her copying stuff, she's better than Increasing Vengeance a lot of times. She can be a nightmare for some of the mid-range control matchups as well. And I have tried Jason this build as well, but then we're getting really skimpy on what Augur Bolus and Snapcaster can actually get value out of. So I did cut the Jaces and stayed to either purely creatures or purely instances and sorceries for the most synergy with this deck. So I've tried Rakdos Return, I've tried Sphinx's Revelation. There's a few other cards I have tried that I might be not remembering at the moment, but just want a 2-1 match against Selesnya aggro. Once the sideboard comes in, they are dead. That's basically how the sideboard works against aggro. Is I take out the Goblin Electromancers, I go down to 1 Epic Experiment, 1 Burn at the Stake, and 1 Pass in Flames, because you have to stabilize. And once you stabilize, you'll eventually get one of those cards to combo out. And yeah, that's with keep the Forbidden Alchemies and Desperate Ravings in, take the Tower End out, and take 2 Goblin Rallies out as well, and then throw in most of the sideboard, whatever's pertinent with it. Anyway, that's the deck. Once again, this is Kevin from RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching.